How the hell is everybody doing? Clint from the Doorway too, doing another one of those video reviews. This time it's for a band called Wills Dissolve out of Houston, Texas. Looks like this 4-piece put a record out in August, and it's called Echoes, and it's one single 32-minute track. This 4-piece is on Hypnotic Dirge Records out of Canada. Again, came out August, I think August 29th is when it came out. Rather than try and explain a whole lot, I'm going to break up pieces of this record, play a little bit of it, and then kind of talk about it, and we'll go from there. Cool.
All systems are clear. Mission is a go. Nate, over and out. Roger that, dude, Nate. Phase 2 is a go. Godspeed.
So we're going to tease you right there a little bit. I'm going to talk about the intro of this record because it's broken up into a couple of different pieces. And I'm going to talk about the first thing that we see, or actually hear. Kind of a proggy, dark ambient, experimental, death rock kind of experiment. I'd say this very much has something more the feeling like Porcupine Tree, the mellower parts of Opeth, Catantonia, and then like ambient stuff like Lustmord and Sephiroth and things like that kind of goes into that ambient doom kind of experimental prog kind of thing as to begin with. Remember, this is a build-up of one 32-minute song, so these 4 guys are really kind of building a story around this record. So Echoes is... It builds ebbs and flows in ways that like you will be very, very excited to hear. So I'm going to jump a little bit further into the record and let you hear a completely different flavor of what's going on.
Close
So I'm going to stop it there again just to tease you a little bit more. So this time you hear more of that progressive, technical, I'd say death doom. Uh, it gives me a lot of feelings of like Gojira, Gorguts. Reminds me a lot of Opeth again. A lot of even Edge of Sanity and like what Dan Swano kind of does. Kind of layered, super heavy, gets super guttural, and then gets really kind of ethereal and kind of folksy. Maybe a little bit of prog folk going on as well too. Um, anyway, this is a really, really, really impressive record, and it builds, it ebbs and flows. It never just goes one direction, and it doesn't peak and then crash. Um, Will's Dissolve is just really an impressive record. I know they did a record before this. I have not heard it. I'm going to have to check it out after listening to this. There's a very kind of psychedelic, kind of space rock element to it as well too. Maybe you guys kind of can feel that Blood Incantation kind of vibe going on as well too. I can kind of feel that happening in this music as well. I'm going to jump into one more piece of this record so you can kind of hear a little bit more and see where it's going, and then we'll kind of close out on the review. So that's all the different elements of the record. That kind of reminds me more of the Porcupine Tree, Catatonia, maybe even Ten High, or some of the more Prophecy production bands that are out there, Imperium, things like that. This record goes from, like I said, atmospheric to crushing to technical to proggy. I mean, it's heavy and crushing all at the same time. The atmospherics are just levels beyond most things you'll hear, and it goes throughout the entire 32 minutes of this album. So again, band's called Will's Dissolve, and the album's called Echoes. It's on Hypnotic Dirge, came out in August. I'm going to put links down to the Bandcamp page, to Hypnotic Dirge's page as well too. Check them out. This 4-piece from Texas is just absolutely stunning. If I had to be able to give it a title, as we say, I'm going to say progressive, atmospheric, post-doom death is probably what I'm going to say, because it does so many things and so many things well. Again, Clint from The Doorway 2. If you like what I'm doing, like and subscribe the YouTube page, our Facebook page, and again, Clint from The Doorway 2. Thank you and see ya.